Welcome to the last part of Chapter 2, the T accounts.
We recorded the November transactions for Net Solutions using the accounting equation format in the previous slides. However, this format is not efficient or practical for companies that have to record thousands or millions of transactions daily. As a result, accounting systems are designed to show the increases and decreases in each accounting equation element as a separate record. This record is called an account.
The account form shown here in this slide is called T account. Literally, as you can see, it looks like letter T, right? That's why it is called the T account. Now, this is where we write the title or the account title. We have two sides of the T, the left and the right. The left side is called the debit side, while the right side is called the credit side. So remembering the transactions of Net Solutions, to record transactions related to cash in a T account, we write on top of the letter T the account title cash. Then on the left side, all transactions that increases cash. If you remember our rules on debit and credit, cash being an asset will increase on the debit side. Therefore, since the left side is the debit side, we put the increases in cash in this side. And then the right side of the T is the credit side. Now, you remember that in our rules for debit and credit, the cash, which is an asset, will decrease on the credit side. So all transactions where we pay cash, withdraw cash, or anything that reduces our cash will be placed in the credit side. Then we compute the balance of cash by adding all our debits, 25 and 75, and then adding all our credits, and then we deduct our credits from our debit. Now, as you can see, the difference is 5,900. 5,900 is the balance of our cash. Now, this one is placed on the debit side because the debit total is greater than our credit total. So whichever side has the greater total, the balance will be placed. So it means that cash had a debit balance of 5,900, which is but normal because cash normal balance is on the debit side, it being an asset. So if what will happen is we have a negative cash, for example, if credit is greater than debit, then we place the balance on the credit side. Okay, theoretically, it is possible to have a credit balance of cash, but practically, it is impossible because how can you pay more than what you have, right? So when you have a negative balance of cash, it's something that is questionable. So maybe there's something wrong with the entries made because ideally cash should have a debit balance. That means you have cash or zero or a debit balance. Now, to summarize our T accounts, if we have asset account, all asset accounts are normally on the debit side. Therefore, all increases in asset accounts will be placed on the debit side of the T account, while all decreases on the asset accounts will be placed on the credit side. The same is true with drawing and expense accounts. But for liability, capital, and income accounts, its normal side is the credit side. Therefore, all increases on liability, capital, and income accounts will be placed on the credit side. But if there will be decreases on these accounts, they will be placed on the debit side. Okay, will you review yourself if you still remember where the increases and decreases will be reflected in the T account? Please answer on your own on your paper and then check on the next slide if you have gotten the correct answer. So, did you get the correct answers? I believe so. Congratulations. You may now proceed to the problem solving on the next slide. So let's apply those theories on this problem of Evelyn Tria, a systems consultant. We are required here to record the transactions using the T account instead of a financial transaction worksheet. Take note the accounts were already given in the problem. We just have to prepare different T account for each account title. And then another requirement is to determine the balances of the T accounts. So let's now proceed to answering this. Okay. We have Evelyn Tria. First transaction is invested 150,000 cash to the business. So we know that if there's investment in the business, cash will increase, right? So we place the increase in cash in the debit. So we place debit here in the T account, 150. And aside from that, we know that the capital will also be increased. And capital is increased on the credit side. So on the T account for capital, we place here the credit of 150. So for letter A transaction, it affects two accounts, the cash and the capital. The cash increased, so we write it on the debit side. The capital increased, so we write the increase on the credit side. Now let's proceed to letter B. Paid 7.5 for 1 month rent. Now, we know that when we pay, our cash will decrease, right? So when we pay, we reduce our cash. So decreases in cash, which is an asset, will be on which side? Correct, on the credit side. Hence, we credit cash by 7.5. Okay. Then, we know that rent pertains to an expense. Now, in this problem, since we are given with a specific account title, which is rent, a separate account title for rent, then we place the increases in expense on the debit side in this separate T account for rent. Now, remember that when we make our financial transaction worksheet, the changes in expenses and drawings and the revenues were reflected in the equity account, no? Since we only have one column for all those accounts. But in this problem, we have separate T accounts for each individual account title. So more specific, right? Therefore, we write the increases or decreases on the specific account title or specific T accounts. Okay, now let's proceed to letter C. Bought office furniture for 26,000 in cash. So when we buy office furniture, which is an asset, the furniture will increase, right? So an asset, once it increase, it is in the debit side. Okay, right? So there. We have here debit to letter C, office furniture. And we buy it using cash. So when we buy using cash, our cash will decrease. So when cash is decreased, then cash is reduced. So we credit it. So letter C, we place the decrease in cash in the credit side of the T account. Letter D, perform services for 10,500 in cash. So take note again, when we perform services, we earn revenue there, right? And we receive cash. When we receive cash, our cash increase. So increases in cash is in the debit side, right? So therefore, we place letter D on the debit side of cash. Now, if we perform service, our revenue is increased. So the revenue increases are normally on the credit side. So we look at the revenue T account here. Letter D, we write 10.5 on the credit side. So as you have observed, for every debit, there's always a corresponding credit. It's always debit and credit. It's not pure debit or pure credit. Okay? Now let's proceed to letter E. On letter E, we perform services for 12.5 on credit or on account. So again, when we perform services, our revenue will increase, right? Because we earned from rendering services. So letter E is an increase in consulting revenue. Increase in revenue is in the credit side. So we place letter E here. 12,750. And since it was on account or on credit, it means we did not receive cash yet. It is still to be received in the future. Therefore, it is still receivable. So, letter E, we increase our receivable, an asset, because we are yet to receive it in the future. We are yet to collect the cash from it, so it's still receivable. So, we debit 12,750 on accounts receivable. And then let's proceed to letter F. Letter F, bought a desktop computer for 55. Okay? So computer is an equipment, right? So the equipment is increased because we buy equipment. So we have an asset which increase will be debited. So we put it on the debit side there. Now, it is stated that we pay only 50% down. So again, when we pay, it is cash out. Our cash will be reduced. So what is 50% of 55? Very good. So it's 27,500. So on letter F, we have here a credit to 27,500 because it will be reduced by 27,500 when we pay the down payment for the computer. Another thing, it was stated that the balance is in 30 days, meaning the remaining 27,500 is still a liability. So it is still payable. Therefore, our liability will increase. Take note that when liability is increased, it is on the credit side. So we credit accounts payable. So liability increase. Take note in this case, we have one debit and two credits. We have letter F debit of 55 and we have two letter F credit of 27,500 each. But still, we have the same 55,000 for the debit and 55,000 total for the credit, right? For letter F transaction. Now, let's proceed to letter G. Letter G, we have acquired a personal copier for 39,500 on credit. Now take note, a personal copier is still an equipment, right? There is like a photocopier. So an equipment, when we acquire or buy it, it will be increased. So we place it as a debit. Our office equipment T account, letter G, we have a debit of 39,500. And then it was stated that we pay 9,500 cash. So 9,500 cash is a credit to cash. So we reduce cash in letter G. We credit cash by 9,500. The balance is due in 30 days. So what is the balance then? We just deduct the 9,500 from the 39,500. So we have 39,500 minus 9,500 equals how much? Yes, we have 30,000 as still a payable or a liability. So again, once liability is increased, it will be credited. So on the T account of the accounts payable, we have letter G, credit, 30,000. Again, on letter G, we have one debit and two credits. Even if we have two credits, the total of our credits is still the same with our debit. Okay? And it should always be the same. Your debit should always be equal to your credit. Now let's proceed to letter H. We receive 7,000 from credit clients. Okay, so credit clients meaning somebody who is somebody whom we have receivable with. So in the past, we have transactions with them, but then they did not pay us yet. This time on letter H, we collected. We received our receivable. Therefore, our receivable will decrease because it has been received. Now, a receivable is an asset, right? So once it will decrease, it will be credited. So letter H here, we credit accounts receivable. It was decreased. Actually, this is from the letter E transaction, right? When we have letter E, we render service on credit. And then on letter H, we collected only 7,000 out of the 12,750 on letter H. Now, when we collect, that means we receive cash. Okay? So when we receive cash, we have an increase in cash. Now, since cash is an asset, it will be increased on the debit side. So we have letter H here, a debit to 7,000. Now, let's proceed to letter I. Now, bought additional office chairs for 8,000 on credit. Okay, take note when you buy office chairs, it will increase, right? Now, chairs are furniture. So, furniture is an asset. When an asset increase, it is to be debited. So, letter I, the office furniture will have a debit of 8,000. Now, since we bought it on credit, utang, therefore our liability will also increase. Again, when liability is increased, we credit it. So, on letter I, we credit 8,000 for accounts payable. Now, let's proceed to letter J. Letter J issued a check for 32,500 to pay for salaries. Take note, a check is also a cash, a form of cash. Now, when we pay, that means our cash will be reduced or decreased. So again, it being an asset, once decreased will be credited. So letter J, we decrease cash, we credit cash. Okay? Now, we pay salary. Salary is an expense. As you can see, we have a specific account title for salary. Salary being an expense will increase on the debit side. So salary is debited. Okay, so our expense related to salary was increased. There. Let's proceed to letter K. We perform services for 10 to 50 in cash. So when we perform services, that means again we earn revenue. And when we perform on cash, we receive cash. So when we receive cash, cash will be increased. So increases in cash is debit. So K in the debit side, 10 to 50. And again, service is performed, therefore our revenue is credited because it will increase. So letter K, we credit revenue. Now let's go on with this problem. Let's proceed to letter L. Letter L, perform services for credit. Again, we perform service, therefore our revenue will increase. Revenue once increased will be credited. So we have letter L, credit to 11,500. And since it was performed on credit, it means it's still on account. So therefore, we are yet to receive in the future the 11.5. So if we are to receive in the future, it is still receivable. So our receivable will increase. Now, letter L, we debit receivable. Okay? Next, letter M. Letter M collected 6,000 of an account receivable. Now, when we collect our receivable, it means it will decrease because it has been collected or received already. So letter M, we credit account receivable. It means our receivable is reduced or decreased. Now, when we collect, we get cash, right? So our cash will increase. Again, once cash is increased, we debit it. So there, we debit letter M, 6,000. Okay? Now let's proceed to letter N. N issued a check for 4,000. Take note in partial payment of the amount owed. So when we say owed, it was our liability, right? We pay 4,000 from our liability. So we look at our liability account, which is the accounts payable. Take note, liability will decrease on the debit side. So we debit letter N, 4,000. Okay, to reflect the decrease in liability because when we have payment, liability is decreased. And when we pay, of course, we pay cash. So our cash will also decrease. So letter N, we credit cash. Next, letter O. Pay 2,250 for telephone bill. So again, when we pay, we reduce cash. So it is credited. So letter O, we credit 2,250. Now, telephone bill is considered utilities, right? So we look at utilities here. We have a utility expense account. Now, it is an expense. So expense is increased when it is debited. So you debit letter O here to 250. Okay? Next, letter P. We pay 2,500 of monthly electric bill. Again, when we pay, we reduce our cash. So cash decrease, we credit cash to 250. Now we have here electric bill is also utilities, right? So utility expense increase. So we debit to 5 for letter P. And finally, we have Q. Tria withdrew 10,000 in cash for personal expenses. Take note, when we have withdrawal of cash, cash is reduced. So cash decreased by crediting it. So Q, we credit 10,000 for cash. And our withdrawal has increased. So we debit withdrawal for 10,000. Now, all transactions A to Q has been recorded already. So we're actually done with requirement number 1. That's just recording all transactions. Now, requirement number 2 is to determine the balances, meaning we get what is the ending balance for each account. Now, we start with cash. To get again the balance, we add all debits. So we add here from 150 down to 6,000. The total is 183,750. Then we add all credits. So all credits totaled 121,750. Then we deduct our credit from the debit. Now, 183,750 minus 121,750, the difference is 62,000. Take note, we place the balance on the debit side. Again, because the debit side is greater than our credit side. 83 is greater than 121. Now, 183 is greater than 121. So, we place the cash on the debit side. And this is also its normal side. Okay, so let's proceed to accounts receivable. The same thing, we add all these two debits. We get 24,250 as total. We add the two credits, we get 13,000 as total. We get the difference between the debit and the credit, and it's 11,250. That's our ending balance. So the balance here is still at debit because the debit of 24,250 is greater than the credit. And then again, it is also the accounts receivables normal balance, which is, if you remember, it is an asset, right? So normally it is in the debit side. Now let's proceed to office furniture. We only have debits for office furniture, so we just add all debits. We get 34. Now this will be our ending balance. We have nothing to deduct from the credits since there was no decreases in furniture. Now the office equipment is the same. Now we have all debits, so we add all debits, we get 94,500 as our ending balance. Accounts payable, we add all debit, we only have one, and all credits, we have 65,500. So we deduct this debit from the credit. Now the difference is 61,500. That is our balance. Take note, we place this time the balance to the credit side because the credit is greater than your debit. And of course, because it is a liability, and normally liabilities normal side is the credit side. Now for TRIA Capital, we only have one transaction. There's nothing to add here. Therefore, the one transaction is also the balance itself. So we just copy 150 as the balance. The same story with withdrawals. There's no other transaction. So the 10,000 is also its balance. So we write it on another side balance. The revenue this time have all credit transactions. We add all of these credits, then we total. This 45 is also its ending balance since there's no debit. Salary expense, we only have one transaction and it's only debit, so we just copy and this is the balance. The same with rent expense. For utilities, we have two all debits. We add the debits. We get this 4,750 as our balance. Now take note, when you check figures, we add all balances. So we add all debits. So 62. Okay, so let's check. We add all debits, right? Okay. Now let's highlight it so we can. Okay, we have 62 debit, 11,250 debit, 34 debit, 94,500 debit. We have 10,000 debit, 32,500 debit, 75 debit, and 4750 debit. You add all of those debits, then it equals to 256,500. Then let's also add all credits. We have credit balances, okay? So we add all credit balances. So those with credit balances, we have accounts payable, 61.5. Then we have 150 here, and then we have 45 here. So kindly add all credit balances. So that should equal to the same figure. So if you have equal debit and credit, then it means you have successfully plotted all the accounts in the T account, all the transactions in the T accounts. Now notice that for utilities, rent, and salaries expenses, they normally have, and withdrawals, they normally have debits only. Now, during the year, normally these accounts, the withdrawals and expenses, will have debits only during the year, except for adjustments at year end, which we will discuss further on chapter 4. But as of now, you should not credit these accounts during the year. It's normally, generally debit only during the year. While for revenues also and capital accounts, so revenues and capital accounts during the year, they are normally just credits, credit only during the year. So except at the end of the year where we made adjustments, and that will be discussed further in chapter 4. So as of this chapter, these revenue and capital account should always have credits only. Okay, unlike all the other accounts like the assets and liabilities, they have debit or credit. Okay? At last, we're done with the whole chapter, chapter 2. Before you sleep or proceed to answering more exercises, read the Bible verse, meditate in silence for a minute, and whisper a personal prayer.